Hi guys, Shelly Fitzgerald, So Shelly Quilts or SoShelly.com. So Shelly Quilts on YouTube. I'd love for you to subscribe. I want to talk to you today about keyboard design collections. We're in the Designer Plus version of Bernina version 9. So the first thing I'm going to do is come to the embroidery library. So up here, you have two file folders up in the upper left corner. When I click on that, I'll be in the embroidery library. I'll be able to see locations of designs right here. So in the embroidery library, I'm going to go and select a design package that I want to map. Now, these are not fonts. These are individual embroidery designs. We'll see that in just a minute. When you buy beautiful lettering from a website, those are individual embroidery designs. And so what mapping means is that you're going to take those embroidery designs. So I'm going to come over here to the little A with an apple on its head up in the upper left corner. And when I click that, I get a new tool that opens called Keyboard Design Collection. Now what this is going to do is make these individual embroidery designs attach themselves to the keys on my typing keyboard on the computer, so that I can type with these as if they were a font. We're just mapping them because these embroidery designs are in the shape of letters. So it'll be very handy to type with those. And then they'll also have all of the lettering reshape and modifying capabilities. So while the design is selected, the collection, this happens to be Haley's Alphabet 12909, from OESD. Love this little alphabet. Very cute. So I've also highlighted the letter M down here. You can tell that it's got the blue around it. You'll see why in a minute. And so while the design is up and the M is highlighted, I'll come over here on this side and select New. I want to put in a new keyboard design collection. So when I click on New, then I get this new box comes up. There's the name of the alphabet, the reference height, because I had that M selected and I told it to use the selection. And now I'm just going to say OK. Now I would like to put in an entire capital letter group all at one time. So I'm going to select the capital A, and I'm going to scroll down, hold the Shift key on my keyboard, and select the capital Z. And you'll see that everything in between became selected. And I'm going to come over here and say map that selected to, right here, map selected to, and I'm going to come over and here's the capital A to Z. So I'm going to click on that, and it's doing it. So in a minute, all of those capital letters will be attached to the keyboard. They're still embroidery designs. I'm just able to use the keyboard and type with them. And I can use the lettering reshape. So there they are. It has put all of those capital letters all in one big group. When you do this in the embroidery canvas, and I'll show you that in a minute, rather than in the embroidery library, you have to do them one at a time. But over here, we can do big groups of them at a time. So this alphabet I know has also got lowercase letters. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to select the lowercase a, and I'm going to scroll down, hold the Shift key, and select the lowercase z. And now I'll come over here, and this time, instead of the capital A to Z, I'm going to choose this map selected to the lowercase a to z. And I'll click on that. And there it goes. Pretty quick, I will have the capital and the lowercase letters and be able to type with those. So now I see 0 through 9 right here. So I'm going to select the 0, hold the Shift key, select the 9, and all of those are selected at one time and going to map. So I'm going to come over here to where it says 0 to 9, map selected to, and I'm going to select 0 to 9. And now those numbers will be in where I can type the numbers also. Now this particular alphabet also includes, it looks like, a bracket, a forward slash and a backslash, a period, a comma, and a semicolon. And so those we're going to do one at a time. And so to find the location, you could filter by right here. And it says filter by, and you have a choice. I've got the standard characters, but I also could use this drop down arrow and see other things that I could filter by, looking for the shape that will match what I'm going to be mapping. But this is how we're going to do them one at a time, because they don't go in order like mapping A, B, C, D. I'm going to go back to the standard characters as my choice, and I can kind of see grayed out here, there's a semicolon. So I'm going to come over here and highlight just the one thing, just the semicolon, and I'm going to click on the location right here, the semicolon, and say map. So there's the word map. So there's my semicolon. Here I'll do the period. So here is the period selected. Let's look for a period over here. Looks like there's a period. And I'll select map. So these things you kind of do one at a time. Here's a forward slash. There's a forward slash. And I'll say map. Let's see here, a comma. I want a comma. So there's a comma. Here's a comma. Map. We want some brackets. So there's a forward bracket. There's a forward bracket. I'll say map. Here's the right side bracket. There's the right side bracket. Map. Let's see if there's a backslash, since I have a backslash available in the alphabet. Underneath it'll show you, in order to get that design, what would you type. Let's just put that backslash on the exclamation point, because you'll always know that if you hit an exclamation point, that's what you'll get. So just for the heck of it, let's choose the backslash, the exclamation point, and map. So now those are mapped. They're ready to use. So I'm going to go back to my embroidery canvas, and I'll open on the left the lettering and monogramming. Now here's the hop, skip, and the jump of it. The keyboard design collection is the tool. Once you've actually used and added those, they become lettering capable. So this keyboard design collection is not how you type with them. It's how you put things in the fonts available while you're lettering. So I'm going to right click on lettering, and we'll come over and let's type spring, S-P-R-I-N-G. And right here in the middle, I could limit the types of characters I'm typing to an embroidery, to a keyboard design collection design, or to TrueType fonts. Or I can leave it at all, but I think I'm going to limit to a keyboard design collection design right there. So I put that little mark. So that means that when I use the drop down, all I will see are designs that have been mapped. And right here is Haley's alphabet. So I'll click on that. It remembers the height right here that we put in, that 2.02 when we were mapping that. It already knew. I still have all of the justification, baseline. This is just going to be used like a font now. So I'm just going to say apply, OK, and click on the screen. Now, I can tell that I need to do a little bit of work with this font because the P and the G should be lower. That is a lowercase p, so the bottom of the P should set on the baseline. That's a lowercase g, and the bottom of the G should set on the baseline. That's all right. I'm just going to go in and work with that keyboard design collection and edit the baseline on that. I'm going to type one more thing first because we're going to work with that at the same time when we go into editing. So I'm just going to right click on the word lettering and I'm going to just type my name, Shelly. It's still in that alphabet. So I'm just going to say OK and click on the keyboard. Because these two L's, let's see, we've got to fix the Y also. I want to change the spacing on those two L's. They come in just a tad close. So we're going to go in to the keyboard design collection. So I could do that here or back in the embroidery library. But I'm just going to left click on keyboard design collection right here. I'll scoot this out a little bit so that we can see it better. And I can tell that I need to work on a few of these letters. And right here is that lowercase p. I'm going to highlight it. And at the bottom, it says adjust baseline and spacing. So I'm going to select that. And now that letter P has come up right here. And you can see the red line on the left and the right of it, where we probably on most of these letters should move that over so that it's not overlapping. And at the bottom, this baseline should be moved up. See how it's way underneath. So I'm going to grab the blue baseline. It will turn yellow and I'll just scoot it up under the bottom of that P. And then this red on the right, I'm going to grab. It'll turn a bright turquoise and move it to the right just a tad. See that? So then I can say, OK, I'm going to right click on the lettering. I'm going to type spring. OK, click on the screen. And so those changes fixed the letter P. And that's permanently fixed. OK, so we could go in. So I'm doing this in the embroidery canvas where we can work with these or you could also be doing this in embroidery library. Same thing. I'll go back to the library and I could edit from here. We still have that adjust baseline and spacing key over here also. So from either location, so you would want to go in and I'll select this lowercase y. It's highlighted. I'll adjust the baseline and spacing. I'll grab the lower baseline and put it up under the Y. I'll grab this right and scoot it over just a smidge. Say OK. See that drop down? I could remap the whole thing if I felt like every single letter was too narrow. But I'm not going to today. If I did want to do that, I would just go in and delete the one I've got, the alphabet while it was pulled up, and use the delete up here. It would tell me, and I could delete that and I could reinstall, remap it, and where we had that 10% spacing, we could make that a little bit larger. So there's the P, the Q. What else drops down? The G, adjust the baseline spacing. So I'll just grab this line at the bottom and drag it up. The one on the right could go over just a little bit. And you just kind of fiddle with these until you think they're going to look the way you want them to look. So that's why I also wrote the word Shelly. So here on this L, look how close that spacing is on those. That's just not okay. So I need to grab this right side and move it over and then say OK. And that's going to space those, give it a little bit more room. So I'll just go back to embroidery canvas. I'll delete the word spring. We'll type it again. Well, I'll leave it. Let's just type it again beside it. So we'll just have a new lettering object. Lettering. Right click. Spring. S-P-R-I-N-G. And I'm still in Haley's alphabet. And I will say OK. And click on the screen, and here it is. Everything's shaped the way we want it now. Do Shelly. Oops, no, let me just do a new one. Right click and we'll retype Shelly. OK, and click. And now you'll see that those L's have a little bit better space apart from each other. And the Y is up. So now every time I use this alphabet, those will be correct. I'm going to delete those. I don't need them for the rest of this particular video. And then same thing on spring. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to push 0 so that the word spring pops up here and show you one of the cool things about the keyboard design collection. When you add something to the keyboard design collection, it becomes a lettering object, because otherwise they're individual embroidery designs. The S is one design, the P is one design. So we're going to look at that real quick. I'm going to come up and insert embroidery. And let's go find that embroidery design. And here is Haley's alphabet right here. I'll change that view so that we can see the letters. Here's the S, and I'll say insert. See, we have to insert every letter one at a time. And so it makes it a lot more time consuming. Then you have to move them and align them manually. Whereas when you type them in down below, they all lined up perfectly. So this is what happens. This is the way we've done it until version 9. This is how we worked with embroidery fonts that we purchased. I'm not going to go any farther. You get the idea. This one, when I click it, it is all one lettering object. It's one thing. This one, when I click it, these are all individual embroidery designs. This one, when I choose reshape, I'm up here in the upper left corner on the reshape object. Right here, the arrow pointing at the line with a node on it. Click. When I do that, on the lettering, it is a lettering reshape. When the reshape option is up here, these are embroidery designs. And they're not lettering objects. And each one of these would get reshaped individually. So down here, they're lettering. Well, one of the advantages of lettering, I'm going to get rid of these embroidery objects really quickly. We don't need those, or I'll just move the lettering out of the way. Let's get it down here so that I can show you what I want you to see. Because one of the very cool things about lettering is when we reshape it, it gets these dots, these diamonds in the middle of each letter. And if I select that diamond, then that letter has these reshaping tools. Height and width at the same time. Here is the width only. But guess what? I'm going to use that one in the corner. I'm going to turn off the magnifier so you can see it. When you use this resize proportionate, this height and width at the same time, the other letters are going to move out of the way because they're all one lettering object. And so that is what is so cool. One of the things that is so cool about working with letters is that those can be reshaped and worked with as if they were lettering. Another thing that is way cool, I'm going to take the word spring, it's selected right here as a letter, and I'm going to come up to the word edit. It's up here in the upper left toolbar, and I'll click on that to drop the menu down, and at the bottom of the menu is elastic lettering, and you have 4 styles of lettering. Let's just choose, let's choose diamond. And so with diamond elastic lettering, I can reshape this word object in ways that I probably would find difficult just with these embroidery designs. I could maybe do some morphing or something different with those, but down here this elastic lettering is very cool to be able to have access to that. I want to remind you to come and join me in the Software with Shelly course. You're not too late. There's a lot of information to it. It is ready for you. We've done 3 modules already. There'll be 10 modules total, but you're not too late. You can do the modules at your own pace. They never go away. So it's $2.99. You're just going to go to sewshelly.com, and then you'll just sign up for the software. Why don't you go ahead and take a 10% discount right now this month? And so just type Morgan when checking out. There's a coupon location. Before you type Morgan, ask your Bernina dealer if they have a coupon code. Several of them do, and let's support them if they do by using their coupon code instead of Morgan. But otherwise, I want to make sure you get your 10% off. So if your dealer does not have a coupon code, type Morgan when you check out and you'll get a 10% discount. So yeah, join us. We're having a lot of fun. There are classes of general information. Every module has got project information. There's a live community, 24/7. Go and interact and do the challenges in there. And then there's a live help session that's recorded. So even if you're not available for it live, we just record the whole thing and post it. So you have a lot of information. So far, the reviews, they're just loving it. They're learning a lot, getting some real good use out of their Bernina version 9 software. So just want you to join us doing that. Bye for now.